thank you for coming. My name is Braden Sanders. I stand and watch her until at length she hangs like a speck of white cloud just where the sea and the sky come to mingle with each other. She is gone. Henry Van Dyke. What do you believe this quote is talking about? From its descriptive wording and its eloquence, I would say it conjures up a vision of a boat sailing off into the horizon. However, this quote is actually describing death. Not the death we've all come to know and fear, but death from the perspective I hope to introduce to you today. Death has touched us all, if not directly, at least indirectly. For myself, someone close to me has died within the last couple of years. Death, unfortunately, has a stigma attached to it, to which presents itself to us as something to be avoided, feared, something not to be thought about or talked about, though death touches us all, whether it is us or someone else that has died or is dying. Which is why I implore all those who wish not to fear this thing, but to celebrate it with those going through the process, to volunteer with patients of a local hospice organization, which will benefit, of course, the patient as well as yourself. From this speech, I would like to give you information on, first, a new perspective of death as it relates to our lives as well as the lives of others, what volunteering with a hospice organization can do for you, as well as how volunteering with patients who are dying can improve the quality of their lives. Volunteering with hospice can help us to understand death as a natural progression, not to be feared or to be avoided. According to Barbara Carnes, author of Gone From My Sight, The Dying Experience, death is a natural process that comes in its own time and is unique to the individual. Though death can seem like the end of life, the end of it all, and the entrance into the unknown and the darkness, remember that someone once said, "It is the darkest of nights that prepare the greatest dawns." Though the process of death is far too complex an issue to break down and discuss in this context, it must be noted that death happens to everyone, and though it is something that is traditionally feared, it can also be celebrated as a progression from this state to the next. And by volunteering with those who are going through this process, one can find meaning in his own mortality while assisting others understand and work through theirs. Volunteering with a hospice patient can help the volunteer as much as the patient. According to Gary Hunt, creator of the Med Central Health System volunteer website, volunteers are able to make a difference in the lives of patients who only have a short time left. This type of volunteerism also gives a renewed sense of purpose to not only the patients but also to those who are doing the volunteering. Volunteering with hospice patients allows those who have not been touched by death to learn more about the process and allows those to see death in a new perspective. Those who have been touched by death to see death in a new experience and a new perspective that may not have been seen or understood before. This also gives the volunteer the opportunity to explore his or her own feelings and emotions about death, and the skills to effectively deal with them, as well as an opportunity to get the viewpoint of the patient on the subject. One can use his or her own abilities, education, and talents to effectively help another human being through the most meaningful of activities, which gives a sense of human connectedness and the knowledge of comfort that those being volunteered with will not die alone. Volunteering with hospice patients can, regardless of the time left, make a significant difference in the quality of their lives. According to Professor Shelley Kagan of Yale University, what is most important and ultimately valuable is in fact the more value we put into the last stretch of our life. It is not about the quantity of the goods or valuables we accumulate, but the quality of our life as it is lived and when the state of life is done. The quality of life volunteers seek to enhance in hospice patients come from the very well-put philosophy of Heartland Hospice Care of Marion, Ohio. These goals are to care for the body as well as the mind and spirit, to provide care that is not only caring but compassionate, to respect patient and family choices, to unite with community partners in patient care, and to be accepting and supportive of patients wherever they are in life's journey. Though death may be the end of this state of living, a new perspective on what death can be and how it can be handled as a celebration rather than something to be afraid of will also give strength and hope and power to hospice patients in a time and ultimately in a moment where they feel that all of this is lost, something a hospice volunteer with a heart set on helping the patient enter the unknown without fear can do. I implore you all to volunteer with a hospice organization near you to learn about, experience, and spread a new, open, fearless view of death, to help to help yourself deal with, work through, and understand death as a process, as well as help yourself cope with death as it touches you in the future, and to understand your own mortality as much as you can understand that in this life. It will also help those dealing with dying to understand the process they are going through, the feelings and emotions involved, and help you to be a compassionate traveling companion on that journey, ultimately leading to that patient not having to end that journey alone. I hope that through my discussion of death as a unique and normal process, as well as my discussion of the hospice philosophy, I have prompted many of you in the audience to give volunteering with a hospice organization and its patients a try. For your own benefits, of course, as well as theirs. To conquer the fear of death as an unknowing and random event that ends life as you know it, I implore all those who fear this to volunteer with hospice patients and get a first-hand look at how human compassion, human nature, and human connectedness can shed light on the darkness that shrouds this very normal, very individualized, natural process we call death. The journey whereby we leave this state and enter an entirely new one that, should we all have someone with us at the end, such as a hospice volunteer, we do not have to fear, and ultimately do not have to fear making alone. Thank you very much, and have a safe drive. Yay. Yay.